Alright, how's it going everyone? So today, I'm going to be practicing a face drawing similar to the previous video I did about practicing poses. Feel free to draw along with me. Most of this is a line drawing, meaning you can easily do it on pencil and paper. Towards the end of the video, I do add some shading to it, but it's some very simple shading. And basically just to make the video look more interesting, not exactly necessary for the practice. The main goal of this drawing was to practice my line control, and like I said in a previous video, if you're going to practice something for art, you have to set a goal for yourself before you start, because if you're just mindlessly copying your reference or just mindlessly drawing things without a specific goal or purpose, it's not really going to help. It's better to actually think about what you're doing while you're drawing. So in this case, just wanted to work on my line control, wasn't really concerned with drawing in a particular art style or anything like that. I was basically just trying to imagine lines and then have my arms draw those lines exactly the way I was imagining them. And most of the time it didn't go too well. And I think part of that is my arm is just not good enough to do that, so that's something that I'm probably going to be working on for the next month. Specifically just my line work. But I think part of that is also just the fact that tablets are a lot harder to draw on than paper, because if you're using a pencil and paper, the paper has a certain texture to it, and I think the friction that you get on that makes it easier to draw your lines, whereas on the tablet, because you're drawing on a glass screen, your hand slide or the pen slides smoother over the surface, and it makes it a bit harder to draw what you want to draw. But that said, it is definitely possible to draw lines exactly the way you're imagining them, so it's just going to take a bit more practice. Anyway, when it comes to drawing the head, there are actually a lot of different methods to doing it. Like, you've got the Loomis method, I think the Asaro method is one. I think there's one called the Riley method, I'm not sure what that is. But you got a bunch of different ways to do it. Every YouTuber also has their own tutorial on how to draw the head. And essentially they all cover the same information, just in their own way. But when it comes to drawing the head, none of these methods are going to help you draw the head better. There isn't one method that's superior to all of the other ones. They're all trying to do basically the same thing, so the method you're using doesn't really matter. Right now I'm using the Loomis method for no particular reason, it's just the one that I'm used to using. But if the method you're using doesn't matter, then practicing that particular method also shouldn't make you better at drawing the head. That's just that's like the logical conclusion I came to. So, if you want to get better at drawing the head, to me it seems like you have to get better at learning the relations between the different landmarks on the head. So the relation would basically be, what are the XYZ coordinates of the eyebrows compared to the XYZ coordinates of the tip of the nose, or the bottom of the nose, or the chin. The better you get at knowing those relations, the better you're going to be able to draw the face from different angles. If you want to get better at drawing the face, or well, I guess this would apply to the entire body, not just the face, but it's better to learn a standardized model first. In the case of the head, that would be practicing that vertical center line, as well as those two lines to the left and right of that center line, which show where the face transitions from front plane to side plane. Then after that, try to figure out the position of the other features in relation to those lines. Like, for example, how far does the nose stick out compared to that vertical center line? Or where are the eyes positioned in relation to the side plane of the head? Then once you figured out a standardized model, and you get really good at drawing that thing in perspective from different angles, at that point, you should be able to draw whatever kind of face you want from whatever angle you want, and you can do it accurately in perspective. All you have to do is just make some slight changes to the proportions, and you can draw different characters. I should probably make a short at some point explaining that, because something I see a lot in the comments is people saying that all I do is draw the same characters over and over and over, or that my tips don't apply to other body types, they only apply to a specific body type. The reason why I'm doing that is because once you're able to draw that standardized body type, it doesn't matter what the standard is, you just have to decide that for yourself. But once you get good at drawing a standardized body type, you can draw any body type. All you have to do is just make some slight changes to the proportions, and then you've got a different character. Also, it's probably a good idea for that standardized model to be more blocky, or drawing it with more boxy shapes instead of drawing more round shapes like the actual human body, because it's easier to change proportions on a boxy form. You can figure out where the center line is of a box by drawing the X on one plane. That gives you the center of the plane, and then based on that center line, you can figure out the other proportions. With a curved form, it's a lot harder to do that. So that's also why you should get good at drawing boxes. So right now in the video, I'm cleaning up the sketch. It's not particularly interesting, which is why I sped up the video. It's just the exact same thing that I did in the first part of the video, except now with cleaner lines. Same thing with the shading later on. I sped it up because it's not exactly what I want to show with these videos. This is more about the drawing process instead of the shading process. But if you guys want to see some videos on shading, let me know in the comments, because I'm not the best when it comes to shading, but I do understand the concepts. This is also the first time I used the pencil brush in Clip Studio Paint, because usually I'm just using the G pen, which is kind of like an ink pen in real life, I guess. But the pencil brush is pretty cool. It doesn't exactly control like a normal pencil. I might have to adjust some settings to get it to control like a regular pencil, but yeah, it's pretty fun to work with. At some point, I wanna also do some traditional videos, but recording videos in traditional is kind of difficult because I need some good lighting, I need a good place to record, I need a camera, and I don't have any of that stuff, which is why all the stuff I do is in digital. But I think that's about everything, so I'm just going to let the rest of the video play. If you like the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. You can support the channel through the Patreon or YouTube members link in the description. And also let me know what other poses you want to see. You can do that in the Discord server. We have a channel for that. So let me know if you want to want me to cover any poses in future videos like this. And then I guess I'll catch you all later.